Alright guys, so it is almost time for Doctor Who. Well, I tell a lie, it's already aired, but I have just finished work early because there was no one in because it was Halloween, people are trick-or-treating and spending time with their friends and all that kind of stuff. Oh, they're all watching Doctor Who. No, of course they're not. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the camera. So yeah, this is my pre-thoughts going in. I'm slightly optimistic, but at the same time I'm not, because the trailer for Revolution of the Daleks looked amazing and the episode was god-awful in my opinion, so I'm not holding out any hope. If it's good, cool. If it's not, the Weeping Angels I think are in this one, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Weeping Angels anyway. I love the design, I love the concept, but I don't think they work on TV that well. Speculation? Fingers crossed that it's good, and will it impress my parents, because they are the toughest critics when it comes to Doctor Who, believe it or not, so I'll see you guys afterwards. This is by no means me saying the episode was bad, don't get me wrong. It's just... are we just conditioned to expect from Doctor Who now? I mean, I'll jump straight in to the ending, because I feel like that's obviously the bit that's freshest in people's minds. Very predictable. Of course the universe isn't going to end. I'm getting a little bit fed up with the end of everything, like Russell T Davies did that to death. The end of time. You don't have... big stakes don't necessarily mean everything being destroyed. Big stakes can be like emotional to particular characters and things like that. I feel like we're not going to get anything else with Yaz. I feel like that's kind of a character done at this point. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not really disappointed because I kind of knew going in what this is going to be, because the trailer revealed quite a lot. We already knew the Sontarans and the Weeping Angels were going to be back, so the surprise element wasn't there. Yeah, this episode sort of just happened, didn't it? I'm sorry, this review is going to be a bit all over the place. It's going to be a bit of a mess, but then again, that's a bit like the episode as well. That was kind of a little bit all over the place and a bit of a mess. I did enjoy things. I enjoyed the humour from Dan and the other character, his girlfriend or whatever. I thought that was kind of fun, kind of nice. You'll have to bear with me, I'm going to be quite slow with this because I'm still trying to process what happened, because it felt like I didn't watch anything. I feel like I haven't gotten anything out of watching this. Straight after this I watched Family Guy and I absolutely just laughed my head off and just really liked it. So that should tell you what I feel about this episode. It just existed, and it's like, well, why is my favourite show just a thing that just happens? I will say this, if the Chibnall era started like this, then it would definitely have progressively got better, and, you know, might actually be at a point now where, oh my god, stuff is happening. But since we started off on such a snooze fest with Series 11, the complete mess that was Series 12, it kind of left a little bit fatigued and kind of will take anything at this point that's slightly good, and that's not good. I feel like Doctor Who, sure, we set our expectations really high when it comes to Doctor Who, but I feel like Doctor Who is capable of much more than this. I didn't like the Sontarans in this. I thought they were very cheesy. I wasn't a fan of the banter because I didn't like the way Moffat did it with the Sontarans, and I don't like it here. I kind of miss when the Sontarans were just Sontarans. But who knows, we've only seen like 2 minutes of them. The next episode could be a lot better. You know, after this I said, isn't it just kind of sad that we're at a point now where everything is more entertaining than Doctor Who? Because it kind of feels like that. Oh, come on guys, let's run around the universe and do crazy shit. Why do I dedicate so much time to this franchise? Oh. I don't know if I should just keep the bits where I just stare into space and try and contemplate what the hell I'm doing with my life. Oh my god, is it about time to sell my Doctor Who stuff? Is it about time to move on and go to something a bit more exciting? Dan, yeah, Dan was alright. Dan was kind of the man. Dan kind of existed, nice guy, helps out at the homeless shelters. It's nice that we got a character like that, just a genuine nice dude. It's kind of nice. I know Graham kind of was, but I don't know. Graham was fine. I wasn't the biggest fan of Graham. He existed, and guess what? Dan exists as well. I remember I predicted that Dan was just going to be a guy who existed, and guess what? I was right. There's not going to be anything special about him, I guarantee you. He's just going to be another Chibnall character. Yaz, I kind of enjoyed there was a little bit of tension between Yaz and the Doctor. That was kind of cool, but it's one of those things, it's very short-lived. I don't know, I feel like there could be a lot more. I feel like this would have worked earlier. This probably would have worked in Resolution or fucking... Chibnall, why are you confuse me like this. Revolution of the Daleks. I feel like this plot point should have been in Revolution of the Daleks, where the Doctor and Yaz have a bit of a beef, and Ryan and Graham aren't there. I think that this is just it's just too little too late, essentially, this episode. I feel like this should have happened a year ago. I enjoy Jodie in this. I've not been their biggest fan, but I've not been their biggest detractor either. I just think she's fine. She's very much the Peter Davison of modern Who. I like Peter Davison quite a bit, so. But yeah, she's bland. She's fine. The woman who got zapped by a weeping angel, I'm reckoning she's going to be another Doctor, because that's all that matters in this show for some reason. Every other Doctor that isn't the current Doctor, because forget fleshing out Jodie's character, why does that matter? Weeping Angels, is it nice to see them back? No, I genuinely do not give a shit about the Weeping Angels. I don't understand why people were excited, because you can't do anything interesting with the Weeping Angels anymore. They were a two-hit wonder. I wasn't so keen on them in Blink because I thought that story was kind of crap. A very controversial opinion, but I much preferred them in Flesh and Stone. I thought they were much creepier. I love that story, I think it's great. I preferred the more desperate feeling of Flesh and Stone, but anyway, that's a topic for another video. It was fine. It happened. The dog thing, whatever, the guy who was played by someone in a classic story which I didn't see, Twin Dilemma, question mark, you know, he was fine. I thought the doggy thing looked kind of a bit 2005-ish. I feel like they should have overdubbed his lines, because there's definitely some lines where it's like, I am wearing a mask, and I feel like we're beyond that now. I feel like we should have learnt that, and maybe we should overdub lines so it doesn't sound like they're wearing a mask, so it seems more realistic. And yeah, that brings me back to the Sontarans. The whole makeup of this series just feels really cheap. I thought the Sontarans looked kind of crap, by which I mean the face makeup. The armor was cool, but I think that the masks they use, they should be a lot more hyper-realistic. I'd love to see a hyper-realistic Sontaran. They looked very cartoonish in my opinion. The facial features didn't really move that well, and all very... How did they look better in the 1970s than they do now? I don't know. And yeah, a big thing for me is, if you're going to set an episode on Halloween after 56 years or whatever, make it a Halloween episode, please. Please just base it in Halloween. Maybe do like a haunted house. They did a little bit of a haunted house thing, but it just didn't... It lasted 2 seconds. I don't know, I really feel like they should have utilised that premise just as a one-off special and not as part of like an ongoing arc, because I'd love just a strictly Halloween Doctor Who episode. That'd be really nice. It sounds like I'm just moaning. I did enjoy it, but it was just there, wasn't it? It just existed. I thought that those two villains, the things that disintegrated people, I thought they looked really cool. The makeup was a bit crap on the guy. I don't know the names of the characters. Yeah, I thought like when he was talking is like that with the makeup a little bit, which is great, top tier BBC stuff. Silicone masks, have you ever heard of them? They were creepy, they were kind of cool. I liked how they just disintegrated people. I thought it was quite sinister. I did definitely enjoy that. The score was very unmemorable, just as crap as Sega Akinola's work has been throughout this entire era. I'm not going to hold back on that. I'm not a fan of his music. I don't think it suits Doctor Who at all. I think you need somebody with much more personality and much more character to conduct something. I don't want Murray Gold back because we've had Murray Gold, but we need something which has its own stamp and really identifies the characters properly. Where I couldn't name you a single track from this era. Everything's just so bland and so forgettable, and just so Netflix and so safe. I thought the quirky stuff with the TARDIS was kind of cool, while the doors appeared in various bits. They always talk about that kind of stuff in side adventures. Oh, you remember when the TARDIS had multiple doors and stuff and went to a meringue planet and all that kind of stuff? It's nice to see that kind of stuff in the show. The wacky ideas which you wouldn't think they'd have the budget for, it's nice to see them actually do stuff like that, and it seemed like they did utilise that reasonably well. So am I excited for next week? No, because I know what's going to happen. Nothing. It's just going to be... Why can't I talk about anything with this show anymore? Why can't stuff good happen? I'm kind of glad I wasn't really that invested in the hype, because I would be bitterly disappointed at this point, so joke's on you guys who got really excited for not much. I think that pretty much wraps this one up. It's I genuinely really wish I had much more to talk about, but this is part 1 of a 6-part thing, so I mean, you never know, it might pick up. Who knows? 6 out of 10.